Hello, hello, happy Monday. Today is Mended Monday, and I'm super thankful and excited to have you all with me again on this Monday to talk about healing after heartbreak. You know, a lot of us have gone through some type of emotional trauma where we've gone through a heartbreak or a breakup, and we've had our heart broken, and it takes time to heal. It takes time to get through that. It takes time to recover from some of these broken relationships and situations, whether it's a man woman relationship or a best friend, a sister relationship. A lot of times we go through a lot of emotional trauma, and sometimes we don't know how to get through that emotional trauma. But I've been through some heartache and pain throughout my life. I'm in my 40s, so I've gone through several breakups and pain and heartache. And I want to share with you on this third week of Mended Monday. I want to share with you my journey and how I was able to get through my heartache and pain. Thank you all for joining. Latasha, my cousin from Tennessee, thank you so much for joining. Thank you all for watching. If you're just now joining me, my name is Miranda. I am the creator of Bougie Girl Cyber Happy Hour. The acronym of Bougie stands for bold, one of a kind, unbothered, God's girl, intentional, and elegant. um, when I call myself bougie, you know, it's not about being arrogant or prideful. It's about being confident in who God created me to be. So this is what this platform was created for. It was created to encourage. It was created to uplift. It was created to inspire women to be their best selves and to be the women that God has created us to be. So I'm super grateful that God has given me this opportunity to be on this platform, to be able to share my story, to be able to share other women's story. I don't know if you're following this channel, you know we have Her Story on Fridays. We share inspiring stories of women who are entrepreneurs. They've gone through various life challenges. They've had their shares of ups and downs. They have shared their share of heartache and pain. They've survived coronavirus. They've survived various obstacles of life. And they come on Fridays and they share their story with us. And we are super excited to share their stories. So if you didn't watch the one on Friday, we had a coronavirus survivor, a COVID-19 survivor. She survived COVID-19, and she came on and told her testimony, and it was so uplifting, so encouraging, such a blessing. So go back and watch it this Friday. We have an amazing man of God that's going to come on the platform. His name is Marcus Holmes. I went to high school with him, so I know him. I'm going to put the flyer up. It's going to cover my face. But this Friday, we're having Marcus Holmes on our platform. He is a certified instructor. He's a speaker, and he has a brand called The Blended Family. And he's going to talk to us about being in a blended family. He's going to talk to us about having healthy families, healthy relationships. He's going to encourage our audience on Friday night. So it's a night of encouragement this Friday. He's going to share with us his journey as a dad, as a husband, as a successful businessman, and he's going to come on this Friday. So join us at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time this Friday. So again, my name is Miranda Chanels. I am a certified licensed counselor. I have been a counselor for over 15 years. I have been a high school counselor, middle school counselor. I am educated with my master's degree in counseling. I also have a certification in Christian counseling as well. So I am trained and certified in counseling in mental illness. I'm pursuing my mental health certification right now. So I'm super excited to be able to be on this platform to encourage, because my passion is counseling. My passion is uplifting. My passion is inspiring other people. My desire is to see other people whole, because I know what it means to be broken. I know what it looks like. I know what heartache looks like. I know what the pain looks like. So if you're just now joining me, thank you all so much for joining this platform. Follow this page, share with anyone that you think may need to hear this message on tonight about being going through the process of being healed after heartbreak, after emotional trauma. So this is week 3. So the past 2 weeks, the first week I spoke about letting go. It was important to share with you my journey and just saying, you know what, let it go. Let go of the situation. Let go of what you thought it was supposed to be. Let go of what you thought who you thought you were supposed to be. It's over, and it's time to let go and move on and allow God to do the work in your life that He is desiring to do. We can't hold on to the past anymore, because when we hold on to the past, we're not making room for God to do what He's going to do in our lives. Last week I spoke about being honest and loving yourself. I wasn't always honest with myself when I was going through my after my heartbreak. Well, and my heartbreak was a divorce. I was married for 13 years. We have 4 children. We had a decent lifestyle. I'm not saying that our marriage was perfect, but I didn't expect what happened. So I had to be honest and accept the fact that this relationship is now over, and I had to grieve the death of that situation. If any of you have ever been married and divorced, divorce is like a ripping away. It's like a death. So you're experiencing the bloodiness, the heartache, the pain, the excruciating loss of someone that has been a part of your life, that you've cleaved to this person. Like the word says, you become one. And when that person leaves your life, it's like a ripping away. It's like a tearing away. I hope you all can hear me. If you can't hear me, please say something. Um, so it's like a tearing away. It's like a ripping away. And then it's the process of loving yourself after that. How do I love myself enough to make better choices going forward? Not saying that your divorce was not making a good choice, because some people have to get divorced. Some people have to leave the situation. But how do you love yourself enough to say, I want to be better. I want to be healed. I don't want to be in this broken place anymore. So I love myself enough to go through the process. So now on week 3, I want to discuss with you all doing the work. There's work that has to be done in order to be healed. If you want freedom in your life, if you want to walk in the fullness of what God has for you, you can't avoid the pain. The pain is part of the process. The pain is part of the process of being the best you, the you that God has created you to be. And pain is an opportunity to allow God in the broken places of your life. These broken places of our lives sometimes are necessary in order for us to move certain things out of our way, in order for us to let go of certain things, in order for us to be better. So sometimes pain comes into our lives, and you may wonder, why am I going through this? I don't like this. But you know what? Sometimes, pain has a purpose. There's a purpose for this. And you need to ask God, why am I going through this? Why am I dealing with this? Why is this happening? He may not tell you why, but Lord, what do you want to show me out of this? What are you trying to teach me? Where do I need to go from here? And that's what I want to talk to you about. Where do we go from here after the divorce, after the breakup, after the heartache, after the pain, after you've had your pity party, after you've done all of these things, after you let them go and said, you know what, I'm ready to move forward. What work do you need to do? So now it's time for that. God is your prescription. God is the one that's going to give you that healing balm, that healing, like that balm in Gilead. He's going to be the one that's going to soothe that pain. He's going to be able to want to restore your soul. He's going to be the one that's going to help you to get through this. So it's time to stop covering up. Stop pretending that you're okay. Stop pretending that, oh, I'm all right. Ain't nothing wrong with me. Stop pretending, because God sees the real you behind the mask, behind the hurt, behind the tears. You know how sometimes when you get a paper plate or a paper towel wet, is very delicate, right? It becomes very, you can easily put holes in it. When we wear a mask, and this is like an example, when you wear a mask and you're crying and that mask gets wet, it becomes, it starts, little holes start. So God can see through that. So it's time to take off the mask. It's time to stop pretending. It's time to stop pretending like nothing is going on in your life. It's time to stop believing that, you know what, I'm not hurting. Yes, you are hurting, because God can see it anyway. Take off the mask, take off the lashes, take off the lip gloss, take off the makeup. Let's get real with God and say, God, I need your help right now. God, I need you to help me through this, because if you don't help me, I'm not going to make it through this. If you don't help me, Lord, I'm not going to get to the place that you want me to be. And again, our healing has purpose. Our pain has purpose, because it's trying to birth something out of us. I know a friend of mine told me last week, a dear sister of mine told me, she said, Miranda, this platform was birthed out of your pain. I didn't really think about it like that. I'm just like, oh, um, this is just something that I want to do, that God gave me, but this is something I want to do. But I didn't really think it was connected necessarily to the pain that I had gone through with my divorce. So this platform saying I'm bougie, being bold, one of a kind, unbothered by what people think about us and what people have to say about our lives, being God's girl, intentional and elegant, this platform was birthed out of that pain that I had because I my self-esteem was super low. My self-esteem was at the bottom. I wasn't bold. I didn't feel like I was one of a kind. I didn't believe I was enough. I didn't believe I was bothered by what people said about me. I was bothered. I was so concerned and so consumed about what people said about me that it just made me withdraw. I was so concerned about, oh, they're staring at me. They know I'm divorced. They know that, I got some things going on in my life. I was so concerned. And like Sean said, he knows it all. He knows what we're going through. So we can't hide anything from him. Thank you, Sean, for joining us on tonight. Thank you all for being here on tonight. All those who are with me on tonight, share and invite, share this story. If you know someone who's broken or hurting or going through any type of emotional trauma, please share this with them because this may can help them. I hope my story can help someone out there on tonight. But it's just so important for us to be transparent when it comes to certain things that we go through because God can't heal the fake you. When you're being fake, God knows that's not the real you. He can't bless the fake Miranda. Oh, so that's the fake her. He has to bless the real, authentic, true Miranda. So if I am lying, hiding behind a mask, I was emotionally spending, I would go out there and spend hundreds of dollars in a day just to hope. I was hoping to um, soothe the pain that I was feeling with material possessions, with my hair getting done all the time, wearing nice clothes. I have clothes in my closet I haven't even worn. I have, things that I have, jewelry and all these things, because I was trying to cover up the pain. And a lot of times people do that. They spend emotionally, they do reckless, they have reckless behavior. And so those were some of the things that I went through when I was going through and like Sean said, if you're covering it up, you can't be healed. When we're covering up something, just like a wound on your flesh, we could cover it up for a little while to protect it from getting infected because it might be bloody, it might be, other things going on with it. You can probably see the white meat, like they say, but we can cover it up for about a while. But eventually, we have to remove the band-aid. We have to remove the covering in order for full healing to take place. In order for fullness to come forth, we have to remove the covering, and that's how it is with us to be healed in God, to be healed into the person that God has created us to be. We have to remove that band-aid. We can't keep that wound covered forever, or it's going to stay tender. It's going to stay. Uh, the pus is going to still come out. So all of those, it's going to become infected over time, and we don't want to be infected. When we're open like that because of any type of emotional breakdown, we're vulnerable. We're vulnerable to the enemy coming into our lives and just wreaking havoc in our lives and wreaking havoc in our emotions. So that's where depression comes from. That's where anxiety comes from. That's where the anger issues are stemming from because you're not letting go. You haven't forgiven. You're bitter. You're upset. You're mad. You're not being realistic. You're not being that anger and those negative emotions blinds us. We have the mask, we have the blinders on. Again, with that mask, we have the blinders on. We can't see. Our peripheral vision is blocked. So we're not able to really just be at a place where we can be healed by God. And so this tonight, I want to talk about doing the work. What work do you need to do in order to be whole on tonight? So what do you need to do? You need to get some counseling. Do you need to go speak to a therapist? There's nothing wrong. I'm a counselor. There's nothing wrong with getting therapy. Our culture as African American and people of color feel like, oh, well, I'm not crazy, I'm not psychotic or whatever. But you don't want to get to that place of being crazy because you will lose your faculties if you continue to hold on and suppress all of those emotions, keep them bottled inside. You're going to explode eventually. So there's nothing wrong with admitting, I need to talk to somebody about this because this is not healthy. I'm responding in ways that are not like me. I'm responding and I'm lashing out at my children. I'm saying things, I'm using profanity, I'm doing things that God is not pleased with. Um, I'm hanging out with people I normally wouldn't hang out with. I'm having conversations that I shouldn't be having. And so you're at a place where it's like, okay, I need some help, but you have to be honest about that. You have to be able to say, you know what, I really need help and not be ashamed. There's nothing to be ashamed about, especially in this time that we're living in with the coronavirus, the social distancing. We need to seek the help that will help us get better. We don't want to come out of this still dragging and hurting and still in the same place or worse off than we were before. We want to be in a place where it's like, you know what, I want to be whole. I want to be better. Do you really want to be better? I mean, some people like to wallow in that place of misery. Some people like to park on Misery Avenue. Some people like to set up residence on depression in the cul-de-sac of depression. Some people want to like to set up residency there. There now you've become complacent. Now you've become comfortable in that place of misery, and now misery loves company. And now you want to invite other people into that the misery, those insecure places. But why live like that? Don't get comfortable in misery. Don't get comfortable being depressed. Don't get comfortable being angry. Don't get comfortable being mad at the world or lashing out or yelling and think that it's okay. Well, I've been hurt, so it's okay. No, it's not okay. You need to get the help that you need in order to live a fulfilling life. If you want to be happy and blessed and cared for, you have to do the work. Um, so you can't be ashamed of your past mistakes. What mistakes did you make during the relationship? You know, like I said in the beginning, whether it's a man woman relationship, a girlfriend relationship, like you and your homegirl, you and a close friend that you've been friends with for since high school or whatever, regardless of what type of friendship it is with your children, even. You know, sometimes parents, and especially with adult children, they fall out because of a misunderstanding, because miscommunication, because of things that was said that should not have been said. So you have to own the mistakes that you played during this relationship. None of us are perfect. Maybe you didn't feel like you did anything wrong, but there has to be something that maybe you've done wrong, or you could have done better, or you could have watched your mouth of the way you talk to that person, the way you address the situation, you know, just continuously lashing out at that person. So what mistakes did you play in the situation? And if you didn't play any mistakes or play any part you feel like you didn't, it's time to forgive that other person. Allow God to come into your heart. Get on that potter's wheel. It's going to be painful. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. Okay, if I just surrender, it's going to be easy. It'll be, you know, surrendering is easy to say, I surrender, Lord. But when He starts really pressing you, when He starts really pressing those things out of you that are hindering your life, you know, when we are emotionally trapped in our pain, God cannot take us to our purpose. So it's really important and imperative that you know that you have to go through the process, and it's going to hurt. There are going to be some lonely nights. There's going to be some tears. There's going to be some isolation. You might have to spend some days in prayer. You might have to just stay at home for a couple of days. There's no more going to the mall, spending frivolously. There's no more internet shopping. There's no more overeating, eating a gallon of ice cream, or over indulging in certain activities. No more drinking, no more smoking, no more of this. You're going to have to purge yourself, and it's like a detox. You might be addicted to shopping. You may be addicted to sex. You may be addicted to food. You may be addicted to bad behaviors, watching inappropriate things on the internet. It's going to be, you might have to get off the internet for a while, do a social detox like some people do, like detox from the internet for 30 days. So it's really important that you understand what you need to do to get better. Allow God to come in and just strip you. He's going to be purging you, pruning you, cutting away those things that He's not pleased with. And it's going to be painful. When you cut something, when you prune roses, it doesn't hurt you, but if that rose was human, it probably would hurt them, because we're plucking and peeling off those thorns and just cutting at the bottom and just whatever we're doing to those flowers. And just imagine if that was us. God is, you know, shearing, cutting off the pieces that are destroyed or dead with shears. And, you know, and so it's not an easy process. We're going to have to be smoothed out. We're going to have to be made better in His image. He's making us into His image. He's making us into the woman and the man of God that He originally created us to be. So there's time that we're going to need to isolate ourselves. So if you're just now joining me, I'm on week 3. I'm talking about doing the work of being whole and healed. My name is Miranda Chanel, and I am a certified Christian counselor. I am also a high school counselor. I've been an educational counselor for over 15 years. And I've been through heartache and pain. I'm a mother. I've been married, and I've gone through heartache and pain. I am a sister. I am a daughter. I am a friend. I am a woman of God, and I've been through heartache. I've been through pain. So I know the process. I know the hurt. And I just want to share my journey with you. I want to share my story with you. And hopefully it would help you if you're going through any type of hurt or pain, or if you know anyone who's going through any type of hurt or pain, this may can help them. So please share if you can. So you might have to get away with God for a little while. This is a process for me when I was going through my heartache and pain, the process that I went through. It was a lonely journey, you guys. I lost friends. I lost people that I thought really cared about me. And they probably did care about me, but they didn't know how to help me. And I think a lot of times God allows people to fall away because He wants it to just be you and Him. This is just me and you, honey. We're going to do this together. And I think God allowed those people to fall away and not be in my life during that time because I needed to just be with Him, because I was so focused on other things throughout my marriage. I didn't put Him first. I love the Lord. We went to church and different things like that, but I did not put God first. I did not put Him before other people in my life. It was just me and Him for years, and it is still that way right now, where it's just me and God. Most of the time, my children are older. I live in a different state than they do, so this is a time still for me of I'm healed and whole, but you know what? I'm still spending that quiet time with God, and I appreciate it now. Before I didn't like it. I complained about it. I was like, "Oh my gosh, Lord, it's just me and you all the time. I need somebody in my life." But you know what? Who who do you need but God, right? And I know that sounds cliche to many people or whatever, but God is all you need right now. And if it's when it's time, He will bring the right people into your life, because when you start going out there picking the people that you want in your life, picking those relationships that you want in your life, a lot of times, you're picking the wrong people, because when you're broken and hurting, you're not healthy enough to connect with the right people. You're not healthy enough to make strong godly connections. You're not healthy enough to say, you know what, I know that this is a good relationship for me. Have you been praying about these relationships? Right. And so Sean also made a comment. She said, let God do the spiritual, emotional, mental surgery. Exactly. It's like a surgery. It's like a heart surgery. You know, when God is um, repairing us and we're actually being vulnerable enough to Him to do the work, instead of jumping into another relationship, instead of connecting with another person while you're still broken. When you're still broken and you're out there getting into another relationship, it's not helping you at all. It's not making you better. It's not making you whole. It's not making you healthy for your next, because this process is in order for you to be healthy for your next, right? We want to be healthy for our next relationship. When God connects your relationship back with your children, you don't want to go through that same drama again with your children, right? You want to be like, okay, I know what I did, I know what I said wrong. You don't want to make those same mistakes over and over and over again. So it's time for you to connect to the right people. And you know who that is? It's Jesus. You're connecting with God. You're connecting with the source. You're connecting with your creator. You're connecting with the man that says He loves you more deeper and more than any man has ever loved you. Jesus loves us more than anybody can ever love us. And if you don't know the love of God, you need to go and let's figure it out. Let's get the love of God, because the love of God is like none other. He pursues you. He loves you. He wants you to be better. He wants you to be whole. He wants you to be strengthened for your next. And that's what this discussion is about. How can we get to the place where we can be healthy enough for our next? Everyone does not need to know everything that you're going through. A lot of times when people are going through something, they want an audience. They want to post it on social media. They want to post it on Facebook. They want everybody to know what they're going through. Girl, guess what? Oh, that man did this to me, me and her dogs. Oh, she this, she that, or whatever. Everybody want to broadcast what they're going through because they want everybody to put in their 2 cents. They want everybody to be like, girl, you sure right. He sure did. It's not time for that. When you're ready to be healed, you don't care what other people have to say. When you're ready to be healed, you don't need an audience. You don't need somebody to pat you on the back. You don't need somebody to give you kudos or to be like, girl, right. Yeah, that's it. You don't need anyone to validate what you're going through. You don't need anyone to validate what's happening in your life. You are you are okay with this just being you and God. You are okay with the one or two people that He has placed into your life to uphold you, to stand with you, to hold up your arms, to pray for you, to intercede for you, to stand in the gap for you. That's pretty much all you need at that point. You just need one or two people, like the word says, two is better than one. One can chase 1,000, but two can put 10,000 to flight. When it's you and that other person, you can chase down demons. The earth will know you are there. You can reach the throne room. You can do it by yourself. You don't need anybody else. But there's nothing wrong with being connected with somebody else. When two or more touch and agree, God is in the midst. When two or more touching and agreeing, God hears our prayers. Your prayers are being answered. You're coming in agreement with someone, and that's a powerful force that heaven has to listen to your prayers. Heaven listens when it's just you praying. God says He does not turn His back on us. He does not. He turns His ear to hear us. So He is there for us. He wants to hear us, but you have to be ready. And sometimes you're so broken, and I was in that place where you can't even utter a word. So that's why it's also good to be connected with the right people, because they can intercede on your behalf. They can pray, they can stand in the gap for you. They can intercede to God for you, because sometimes you can't even, you're so heavy with hurt and pain and tears and feelings and emotions and anger, you can't even say anything. You can't even utter a word. You can't even talk. So it's like, okay, I need somebody to pray for me, because and sometimes you don't even want to pray. It's like, I don't want to pray. I don't want to pray today. I don't want to do this. So it's always good to connect with at least one other person. Call your pastor, call your church, call a neighbor, call a trusted friend, call someone that you know can reach heaven, because I know all of us got somebody we know, grandma, auntie, mama, neighbor, somebody, big mama, somebody out there that that if you call them, if they pray for you, their prayers are being answered. So it's always good to connect with someone like that. Don't look for sympathy from others. Don't look for pity from others, like, oh, woe is me. Sometime I was in that place where, I'm sitting at the table and I'm talking to somebody about my situation, talking to a friend or somebody like that. And they'd be like, I'm telling them my sad story. I'm telling them, oh my gosh, poor Miranda. And, I was looking for that pity because I was in that place. And but when it's time for you to do the work for healing, you're not looking for pity anymore. You're not looking for sympathy. You're not looking for somebody to pat you on the back and be like, girl, you sure right. You should go over there and do this or whatever. You're not looking for that anymore. You're not looking for that anymore. You're like, Lord, I'm ready to do the work. You want to have a healthy soul. You want to be in a place where it's like, you know what, I need to do what I need to do for me. I need to do what I need to do for my children, to be whole for them, to walk into my purpose, to walk into my destiny. And when you do that, you are okay with everybody else saying what they think about you. Hopefully, you all can hear me, because my computer was just saying something weird. So hopefully, you guys can hear me. Um, let's see. I don't know if you guys can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know. Hopefully, you all can hear me. Because my Okay, so I believe my computer went out for a little while. So if you guys are still there, hopefully you are. I was just talking about being in a place where you're ready to be whole, you're ready to be healed, you're ready to be in a place of victory, and you're going to do whatever it takes. And you're going to get the help that you need. You're going to, connect with the right people. So thank you so much for joining me on tonight. As I share my story, like I said, this is week 3. Thank you, Mr. U. Hi, Mr. U. Thank you so much for joining. You all, please share the broadcast. If you know someone who needs encouragement on tonight, this platform is meant to encourage and uplift and inspire those who may be struggling with low self-esteem, low self-worth. Again, when I went through my divorce, I struggled with low self-worth, low self-esteem, because I didn't feel like I was good enough. I didn't feel like I um, was good enough for anybody. I was going on 40 at the time. And I was like, oh my gosh, all my youth, all my good years is gone. I can't even, what it, so I was all feeling bad about myself. But like it says, your latter will be greater than your former. The best is yet to come. And I had to look at my life like that. I didn't have I had to watch my confessions, and for a while I didn't watch my confessions. I didn't watch what I said. I said a lot of negative things. I said a lot of things that was probably detrimental. I said a lot of things that was probably painful, as far as, or that hindered my process of healing, that delayed my process of healing, because I spoke death. I spoke a lot of bitter things because I was still angry. I was still hurt. I was still upset about what happened. I was still in some type of shock. I was going through when you lose someone, you're going through I can't even think of it right now, you guys. I was going through the grieving process. I was grieving, so I was going through the shock, the pain, the hurt, being upset, and I was in waves. It was going on for several years, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, Lord, I'm about to be 40. I can't believe I have to start over as a woman. Who wants to start over? I dedicated all this time to my children and my family, and now this is happening. Now I got to start over. Now what, Lord? Now what do you have for me to do? Now what am I supposed to do with my life? Right? I wasn't working at the time. Was laid off of my job. I was a high school counselor at the time. I was laid off. We lived in California. I lost everything. I lost my home, my car. I didn't have a job. I was pretty much homeless for a while. It was a devastating season of my life. And I was like, Lord, what do you have for me to do? Why am I dealing with this? So I was angry for a little while, but I had to realize that I can't stay angry forever. I can't stay in this place forever because I mean, I had to get back on track for my children. I had to get back on track for my family. I had to get back on track for the people who needed me. I was a counselor. So it's like, how can I help these children if I'm full of bitterness and anger? And, you know, God really did a work because kids would come into my office and be like, Miss Chanel, my mom and dad are getting a divorce. And it would break my heart, you guys. It would be so heavy for me. But God knew that I was meant to help these children because when they would come into my office talking about their parents getting a divorce, it made me think about my own children and they reminded me of my own children. And they would tell me about what was going on. So I was able to help them because I had a personal story. I had a personal journey that I was able to share with these children who had gone through, who were experiencing real life, live and in color divorce. So I was able to really like, oh my goodness, I can help these children because my children are now going through this. My children are going through this heartache and pain. My children have gone through these emotions that these children are experiencing. So now I can be like, okay, well, this is what my child went through. This is what my children are going through. This is what my children are doing. This is what we're doing as a family. Then their parents will come in and I would help their parents. So there was a reason for, um, God used my pain for purpose. God used my pain to help someone else. And just like he's doing right now, he's using my pain, hopefully, to help someone else that's listening or that will listen to my story. So I just want to be able to encourage someone on here tonight who is going through emotional trauma, who's gone through a broken relationship or heartbreak, divorce, who's lost a loved one, that you will be okay, that God wants to heal you. He wants to mend you. He wants to make you whole again. But you have to surrender to the process and you have to do the work. You have to do what it takes to get to that place because again, your pain may be. My pastor said this one time. He said, the pain that you're enduring is the fault of others, but the healing is your responsibility. It's your responsibility to say, you know what? I need to be healed. You can't blame this person forever. I couldn't blame my ex-husband forever and say, pointing the finger at him and saying, oh my gosh, you did this, you did this. I couldn't point the finger forever because he's moved on with his life, you guys. He's married somebody else. He's doing what he needs to do. He's picking up the kids. He's taking care of business. I can't be stuck in the past. I can't be stuck on what was. I can't be stuck on what it should have been. I can't be stuck on, oh my goodness, this, and that, and the third, and thinking that, so I can't be stuck in the past, you guys. I had to do the work to move on. It was my responsibility to say, I need to have a healthy soul. I need to have a healthy life. I need to have a healthy purpose. What does God want to work through me? And he showed me that because I was teaching divorce care classes at my church. I was teaching boundaries classes at my church. I was in ministry. I was doing different programs. I was going to school, going back and doing certain things. I was counseling middle school kids with their hormones raging and them acting all crazy. They were a blessing to me. They were like the balm that I needed, the salve that I needed for my healing because they loved on me and they didn't realize what they were doing, but they were, getting those hugs in the morning in the hallway, and I'm saying good morning to them. That it was such a therapeutic process, and that's something else that you need to do. Get out and help somebody else. I know we're in social distancing right now, but how can you help somebody else from a distance? Can you sow a seed? Can you call and check on somebody? Can you say, hey, are you okay? How are you doing? Can I help you with something? Send a card, send a letter, send a text message, FaceTime, do something that will be a blessing to someone else, because somebody needs you. You may not think so. You may be like, Lord, I need somebody. But what we need the most, we need to be giving. If you need some comfort, you need somebody to hug you, you go hug somebody else. If you need somebody to talk to, why don't you pick up the phone and call somebody? Don't take it personal. Don't get in your feelings. Don't get upset. Go and help somebody else. They may need what you have to give them. You just don't know that you helping them may also help you as well. And I had to realize that during my journey. I couldn't be selfish. I had to be honest and say, you know what, let me go help somebody while I'm paying, while I'm in pain. You know what, on my way home, I might be crying in the car. But you know what? Guess what? I helped her. I helped him. I was able to help that family. I was able to be a blessing to someone. So I have a couple of questions that I want to ask, have you write down. And I want you to ponder on this week, as because next week I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about the transition to a healthy mind. So when we come next week, will be week 4, and we're going to talk about transition to a healthy mind and the things that you need to do for that. But this week, during this week, I want you to ponder on some things. Journaling is one of the things that I did for self care. Self care is so important as a counselor. Self care, taking care of those. We have to take care of ourselves. If we're broke down and beat up, we're no good for anybody else, right? So it's so important to take care of ourselves, to love on ourselves. I talked about self love last week. So it's so important during the journey of healing to also take care of yourself. That's not a selfish act. It's not, it needs to be intentional. So I want you to think about some things as we go into next week. So take the steps that you need to heal and prepare for what God has for you next. God will not pour new wine into old wineskin per se. Like you're an old wineskin. If you're not allowing Him to make you new again, He can't pour what He has for you, the new thing, into your old bitter self, into that old nasty flesh that you're just not willing to make new again. You're not willing to let Him wash you clean as snow again. No, I'm not saying you're going to be perfect. None of us are. But God is not going to pour all this newness into you and all this stuff into you, and then it's packaged in bitterness and resentment and hate and anger, right? He wants that your outside to be just as beautiful as the inside. So He wants you to go through that process of being new again. God wants to do a new thing in you, and He wants you to recognize it. Do you see what He's trying to do? You need to sit down with God and be still and say, Lord, what do you want to do in me? What are you trying to show me? So He can pour into you. He wants you to have joy and peace. When you cover up a mess, you will eventually explode. When you're suppressing all of that you have going on inside of you, you're going to explode. You're going to go off on somebody. You're going to hurt somebody. You may hurt yourself, and you don't want to have those feelings and those thoughts. And I just want to pause right here and say that if you have feelings of hurting yourself, please get the help that you need. Please call a suicide hotline, call your pastor, call someone that can help you, because we don't want you to hurt yourself. We don't want you to cause harm to yourself. If you have children who are cutting, if you have children who are doing things to themselves, please get them help. That is a cry for help. I don't want you to feel like, oh, they just acting out, they just want attention. That's not really a cry for attention in the way that you think it is. It's a cry for attention like, Mom, I need help. I'm hurting. Something's going on with me. Please talk to me about this. So you may need to get your child some help. So I just wanted to say that please get the help that your child needs or you need if you're feeling like that. So, what emotions keep you up at night? I want you to think about that. What emotions are keeping you up at night? What do you need to do to prepare for your next? What work do you need to do within yourself? I really want you to ponder these questions. I really want you to think about them, put them on a notepad, on a piece of paper, on a journal. Sit up tonight and think about these things. Who do you need to forgive? Is there someone that you need to forgive? Do you need to forgive yourself? Sometimes we need to forgive ourselves. What areas of our lives are not pleasing to God? What are we doing that is not pleasing to God? What are we saying? What are we doing? What are we participating in that's not pleasing to God? When you look in the mirror, what what do you not like about yourself? And I'm not talking about the exterior. It could be the exterior. You might want to lose some weight. You might want to clear up your skin. We talked about that. Self-care is so important with your skin, your hair, and all these other things to take care of you. But then if you look at the man in the mirror, if you're really looking deep inside, what do you see that you don't like? Look deep inside of yourself, examine. It's time for self-examination. It's time for you to examine your heart. What's in your heart that's really causing bitterness and anger, or really just causing you to shut down, causing you to become withdrawn, depressed, anxious, fearful? What is keeping you up at night? What reactions or responses have you had lately that are out of character for you? Like you're like, wow, I don't normally act like that. So what are you what's going on in your life that you may have said something, you've lashed out, and you're like, well, that's not normally how I would respond. Why don't you sit down and think about that? What was your trigger? What triggered you to respond like that or react like that or say what you said or shut down? Maybe you didn't say anything. Maybe you withdrew. Maybe you shut down. Maybe you got became angry and you just didn't talk anymore. What Why don't you think about those things? Do you need to talk? So I just want to let you know that as a licensed counselor, a Christian certified lay counselor, I've gone through heartache and pain myself. And I believe God allowed me to go through the heartache and pain because for this moment, for such a time as this. So if you need to talk, again, I am a certified lay counselor. That means I am certified as a Christian counselor. I do have my certification. I am licensed as a school counselor. I am also receiving my certification in mental health first aid. So my email is at the bottom. I'm bougie.girl@gmail.com because this platform is bougie. I'm bougie, bougie girl. So, and again, the word bougie is not saying a prideful or arrogant statement, but it's saying that I'm bold. It's saying that I'm one of a kind. It's saying that I'm unbothered. It's saying that I'm God's girl. I'm intentional. I am elegant. Just like I have on my shirt tonight, it says, I am elegant bougie. This is one of our t shirts. We have a t shirt line on Teespring. I will put up the email address in a minute. But right now, if you need help or if you need someone to talk to, or if you need some support, or if you need some resources, email me at the email that you see going across the screen. I'm bougie.girl@gmail.com, and I will be happy to respond. And if you need some additional services, it's possible that I can be of some assistance to you. But I want you to know that there's people there that love you. There's people in this world that care about you and want to see you whole. I'm so glad for the people that want to see me healed and whole. There are a few women on here tonight, Joyce Houston and Sean Johnson, women of God who are prophetic and prayer warriors and loving and kind and caring, and they love people and they clap for people on the sideline and want to see people win. I love these women of God. I'm grateful for me meeting them once I moved to Texas from Las Vegas. I've been here for 2 years, and God placed these women in my life and allowed me to meet these women at church, allowed me to meet these women, and they loved on me. They were a blessing to me, and they didn't um, shun me because I was divorced. They didn't look down on me. They didn't make me feel like I wasn't good enough to be a part of uh, their circle per se, or their, their environment, their surrounding. They welcome me with loving arms into their lives. And I'm super grateful. And it's always good to have women in your life that support you if you're a woman. Men, if there's good to have brothers in your life that you can connect with you when you're hurting. Men, I know you, if whoever's on here, if a man watches this later on, men hurt too. Men go through brokenness too. Men go through pain too. And I want you to know, brothers, that there's resources out there for you. There's counselors, men counselors out there that will help you, that will support you, that will stand in the gap for you. Your pastors, your brothers at church that will stand in the gap and pray for you and love on you and just be there for you. So I want to encourage you all on tonight to do the work on what it takes for you to be better, to be the woman and the man of God that He has created you to be. So, again, I'm going to say these questions really quick one more time. I want you to ponder on them on tonight or this week as we are going into the week. It's Monday, it's Mended Monday. Let's mend it. Let's do it. Let's have a healthy soul. Let's be healthy people. I want you to think about what keeps you up at night. What are those emotions? What are those things? What are those pain points that keep you up at night? What can you do to prepare for your next? What can you do to prepare for where God has taken you? This is not the end of your story. Your pain is not the end of your story. God is going to use this pain for purpose. God is going to use this pain to help somebody else, to help somebody to get over the hurdle. And also this pain is for you to tell somebody else you will make it through. You will heal. You're going to be okay. I can tell you this. I thought I was going to die, y'all. I was like, I'm going to die. I'm not going to make it. But guess what? I'm sitting here today by the glory of God, being able to share my story that I was so ashamed and embarrassed to share because I didn't want anybody to know that I was divorced and that I had gone through a breakup and my marriage had failed and I had lost everything and I was homeless because I was this woman who needed to be of a certain status or whatever. But God had to humble me all the way down. And I'm so grateful that He did, because now I am able to appreciate some things and not take things for granted like maybe I used to. Um, I want to ask you, who do you need to forgive? Write that down. Who do you need to forgive? Who do you need to forgive? Who are you holding a grudge against? You may not think so, but ask God to remind you. It might be somebody that you probably forgot, like, oh, I forgot about that. That might have been 2 years ago, but you might be not forgiven them, right? What areas of your life are not pleasing to God? How can you get better? We can all improve somewhere. When you look in the mirror, what do you not like about you? And sometimes I'm not always talking about your outer. It could be weight. It could be whatever. But look, if you're looking at yourself deep in the mirror, looking at the man in the mirror, what are some things about yourself that you don't like? How you respond to people, how you react, how you explode, how you mistreat people. What are some things that you need to be working on about your character? You may have said something to someone last week and it was just totally off the cuff. And you're like, why did I respond like that? So it's really important for you to do the work you need to get better. So I hope you all enjoyed this on tonight. Again, my name is Miranda. I'm the creator of Bougie Girl Cyber Happy Hour. I created this platform to encourage and to uplift and to encourage others. I want to also remind you of of our um, our her story on Fridays. If you didn't watch the one from last Friday, a marvelous elder from Louisiana shared her story about being healed from COVID-19. Such a miraculous story of healing and overcoming. Please go back and watch it. Also, this Friday, we're having a night of encouragement. We're going to have a man with us this Friday. He's someone I've been knowing since high school. His name is Marcus Holmes. He will be joining us this Friday for a night of encouragement. Such an amazing businessman, a speaker. He is the creator of the brand, The Blended Family. So he's going to come on and encourage those who um, may be in a blended family, how to get through it, how to um, just have successful marriage, a successful family. He's going to be with us on Friday, so you don't want to miss it. He is an awesome man of God, such an amazing businessman and encourager. So we don't want you to miss it. Also, we are having our Zoom dinner party on August 30th, which is a Sunday. If you are a part of our private Facebook group called I'm Bougie, we're having a Zoom dinner party for all of our bougie girls out there. We want to get to know you all. We want to get to know you a little better. We want to for you to get to know us better. We want to know what you want to talk about, what you want to hear about, what we can do to help you in this group to be able to grow this platform. If you're not following the page, please follow us. And we just want to be a blessing to anyone who needs to be encouraged. I'm an encourager. I'm a counselor. And I just love what I do. I'm thankful to God that I'm here to be a blessing. So I love you all. Thank you all for joining me on tonight. I'm glad you were able to watch this platform. I'm glad you were able to be on here with me tonight. Again, the t-shirts can be found on Teespring. If you can't really see it, pause it and write it down. It's also on our page. We have an advertisement for Teespring for the t-shirt. They're like, this is one of the t-shirt designs. Elegant bougie because again, bold, one of a kind, unbothered, God's girl, intentional, and elegant. So tonight I'm representing elegant. My producer Elena is not with me tonight, but she is such a blessing to this platform and to me. I'm super grateful for her. And I just love what she does. So tonight I'm representing elegant. Y'all, I'm having connectivity issues, hopefully. But anyway, that means it's time for me to go. So I love y'all. Have a blessed night. Rest well. Answer those questions, and I will see you next Monday for Mended Monday. But again, don't forget Friday. Watch us for a night of encouragement. Be blessed. Have a great night, everyone. Sleep well.